କହିଲି ସେ ସବୁ ମାନେ are you satisfied or anything, any question with you? Hello? Okay, thank you. So, my dear friends, one thing regarding urbanism, we have discussed a lot of things, and our topic was approaches to the study of medieval urbanization, and we have seen the picture of policracy mainly during the time of a medieval period, how the Mughal rulers they changed their capital and um, they from one place to another in order to make the city more important. And we have also seen about the role of Akbar. Now we will see about the Portuguese cities, what they have done regarding police. The Portuguese too followed a different types of principles in the cities with a different meaning and a different form the way of Mughals. So you see, we have seen about the policy of the Mughal period, and now we'll discuss about the Portuguese cities. They used cities as economic devices for extracting surplus and making profit, and finally took to Europe. You see, they are dangerous people. So what happened? They tried to extract surplus and making profit, and finally took to Europe. And unlike the Mughals they used wealth for the welfare of the India. But on the other hand, the Portuguese they exploited the surplus and they made profit and took these resources to the Europe. Only the Mughals who allowed the wealth to circulate within India and allowed the towns to develop on the basis of the requirements, what I have told you. Sorry. Portuguese established a chain of towns like Quilon, Cochin, Kannur, Mangalore, Hanwar, Drulor, Goa, Tana, Basin, Daman, and Diu in India. These were the famous towns established by Portuguese. So again, I am telling the towns like Quilon, Cochin, Kannur, Mangalore, Hanwar, then Goa, Tana, Basin, Daman, and Diu. All these were the towns which were established by Portuguese. So, Malacanda Thiel opined that the Portuguese had shaped the character and format of the urban centers whose aim was to extract maximum from the hinterlands. So, Malacanda Thiel, who has opined that the aim of the Portuguese to extract maximum profit from the hinterlands. That means hinterlands means from the villages. This is called police glassing. We have seen police glasses, police glassing of Mughal period, and this is known as a police archic. POLISHARCHIC. Police glassing. If you want, you can also note down the word police garchic. POLISGARCHIC. Police garchic. It is used to denote the rule of foreign powers through towns for the purpose of extracting surplus from the hinterlands. What we have discussed. So, police and police garchi. You see how they were used. Initially, Cochin and later Goa were developed as the fixed core centers of the Portuguese government in India, while others Portuguese control port towns and supplemented to play the project of extraction. So, the main motive of the Portuguese only to extract the surplus from the hinterlands, or so to say the villages, and they were trying to send it to the European countries. Uh, from 1505, Cochin was the capital of Istano da India. That means the capital of Portuguese. And after 1530, it was Goa. So how they changed? First, it was Istano da India. Then after 1530, it was Goa. The Portuguese accumulated enormous wealth from these trading centers. The annual value of Cochin in 1610 was 20 lakhs 80,000 parados. That means parados means that is the Portuguese coin. Portuguese coin, and Goa was 46,600. A considerable amount of wealth accumulated by Portuguese in the form of custom duty and transferred to Europe in different forms. So, by this way, their sole motive is to collect the surplus from the hinterlands or from the villages, or from, so to say, the people of India, and the sole purpose was to send it to Europe through various forms. Goa was the center, Goa was the core center of power, then of cultural homogenization of religion, food code, dress code, and language code for the resident. So what happened? Goa was such a place where they have a different code of the dress, different food code, then language code. Everything is separate from the other persons. But the private traders in Nagapattinam, Milaro, and Pulivot near Madras, Devanam Pattinam near Pondicherry, Huguli in Bengal, where the mercantile towns registered the interference of the Portuguese. So what happened? You see, these towns, the Nagapattinam of Milapur, then Pulivot near Madras, then Devanipatim near Pondicherry, then Huguli in Bengal. These are the famous mercantile towns. That mercantile means Babasabanja, trade centers, and they vehemently opposed the interference of the Portuguese. Thus, the Portuguese officials were not happy, and in 1547 and in 1568 tried to destroy these private urban settlements through military expeditions. So what happened? They tried to sponsor or to sponsor these towns through military operations. But through the policy of a police system, Portuguese tried to tame through various policies. But it was a fail, so they tried to convince the people through different ways. Tame means posa manaiba. Just like ଆମେ ଯେମିତି ଶୁଆ ସାରି ରଖିକି ତାକୁ ଯୋଉ ପୋଷା ବନଉଛେ, ତ various policies, to various plans and rules, they try to convince the local people. So this is about the police gachic and police gachic. Policy is the policy of the Portuguese, and their sole motive was to exploit the wealth and to take it to the European countries. So this is about the mentality of the Portuguese people. Now we will see about city states. Have you any doubt, my dear friends? Any doubt? Any doubt? No, I will go ahead. Okay. You see, another type of medieval towns developed in India known as city states. Now we'll see about what is the city states, as in the case of Calicut and Cochin. These were small states or quasi states that appeared around the port cities of Calicut and Cochin in the way city-states appeared around cities in Venice and Florence in Italy. So what happened? These cities developed near port towns. Okay, just like the towns of Venice, Florence in Italy, Hamburg, and Danzig in Germany, etc. So this is a city-state. However, these city-states of India differ very much from Italian city-states, but they are very much different from the Italian city-states in a political structure and in the way production and exchange. So how it is differ? Because they are different in a political structure and then the way of production and the way of exchange. In most of the city states in Europe, power resided with the merchants and producers living in the cities. So what happened in the Europe? What happened mainly power rest with the merchants people, while in the city-states of Calicut and Cochin, actual power remained with the political rulers. So you see what is the difference between the power of city-states in India and the power of city-states of the European country. In Europe, the actual power rests with the hand of the merchants and the traders, whereas the actual power remains in India with the political rulers. So this is the basic difference between them. You have any doubt? Any doubt, my dear friends? Any doubt or no doubt? Or I will go to the fourth lesson. Hello? Hello? I think I am not able to.
No doubt, sir.
Okay? Okay, Swagatika, I am not able to listen.
Sir, आगू को पढ़ा दो.
ठीक है. So this is all about the approaches to the study of medieval urbanization. We have detailed discussed about the medieval urbanization. Now we will see about the fourth chapter, that is the themes on modern cities. Now we will examine a close connection between the word modern and urban. So you see how they are differ from each other. So we now will see a close connection between modern and urban. We have discussed earlier about the modern city is space. So you see the particular word space. We will also see the relationship between space and the society. And we have also discussed about space and society. We have already discussed. Marxist philosopher Henry Lieber, in his book The Production of a Space, argued space is a single setting where the action took place, that is called to movement of the people, etc. He suggested. Any question, my dear friends? Jogeshwari, I think you want to anything?
No, sir.
Okay. So try to mute. Okay. So we have already discussed about the very word space, and we have also discussed about society. So what happened? Space is a single setting where the action took place, that is equal to movement of people, etc. He suggested that space is produced by each historical society in three development ways. So one thing, when we will see about space means what we have discussed. Who can say space means what? Space means what? Area, nothing else. Space means one area. Bishojit. Hello? Yes. Space area. Space means ଗୋଟେ area. ଯୋଉଟା ଗୋଟେ area ଅଛି automatically movement of the people took place. Suppose ଏବେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର କଥା ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ହେଲା, there are so many builders, they have created space in order to attract the people that you come here and we are here to sell the plots. So automatically what happened, those who are interested, they were going to that place. Okay, so this is all about the space or area. So what happened, Henry left where he suggested that space is produced by each historical society in three interconnected ways. So he has given three ways. First, perceived means realized. Second, is conceived, that is placed in conceived means planned in mind, and third is lived space. So we will examine one after another what is the perceived space. So it refers as they are sensed by the body, manipulated with the hands, and moved through the practical basis of perception of the outside world. So you see, perceived means perceived. What does it mean? Perceived अर्थ होला realized. So what happened? It refers as they are sensed by the body. They are sensed by the body, manipulated with the hands, and moved through the practical basis of perception of the outside world. Outside world means heaven. It is the idea of a space derived from derived from thinking about space. These could arise from geography, physics, urban planning, including the ways of drawing borders, mapping cities, even ways of imagining the world. So what happened? Perceived means what? When we are thinking about a space, that means we have some knowledge about that space. Suppose ଆମେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାଟେ କିଣିବା, ଅଟୋମେଟିକଲି କଣ ହବ ନା ଆମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଯାଉଛେ, automatically our mental thinking, our body is about to move and about to see what is there. According to Edward Souza, that time is a dynamic entity while space is a static and unchanging. So time is a dynamic entity. You see, time is dynamic. Dynamic means it is always changing, but space is never changing. जोड़े जगह अच्छी, जोड़े एरिया अच्छी, that is constant, static. Those who open city as a combination of social and spatial means relating to space, dynamics in the early 20th century, where Chicago school, their approach was called human ecology, and they borrowed much from Darwinian ideas of evolution. So what happened? What he is trying to tell us that perceived space. Perceived means that we have realized about a place. That we have realized about a space. Suppose ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ଗୋଟେ ଜାଗାରେ ଗୋଟେ space ଅଛି, and we are trying to purchase it, or we are trying to purchase it, then automatically we want to move from place to place. And according to Edward Souza, that time is dynamic. Time is always changing, but space is it remain constant. From the Bourdieu suggested that the city emerged as a series of concentric circles based on a competition between its users. So what happened? ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ଜାଗା କିଣୁଛେ, it is a high demanding. କାହିଁକି ନା it is a competition among the purchasers or among the users. The center of the city was made up by business districts which paid higher rent than any other potential users. ତେଣୁ ଯୋଉମାନେ ସିଟିର ମିଡିଲ ଭାଗରେ ରହନ୍ତି they are paying more rent because it is naturally a business center. Around the center, the working classes live near the places of work. Then high class apartments, those who wish to escape the crowded city center, and finally the suburban commuters. So what happened? Naturally, in the central place, the high class people they are paying the high rents. So what happened? The working class people, those who are labor class people, they are also remaining around the center of the city in order to get a job there. So, but on the other hand, those who want remaining in a lonely place, giving less amount of money, they are not liking to stay there. ଯୋଉମାନେ କଣ ହୁଏ ନା ସେଣ୍ଟରରେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ରୁହନ୍ତି ସେମାନେ ଅଧିକ ପଇସା ଦିଅନ୍ତି ଆମେ ଯୋଉ କାହିଁକି ନା ଏହାର ମୁଖ୍ୟ ଉଦ୍ଦେଶ୍ୟ ହେଲା ଯେ ଆମେ ବିଜନେସ କରିବା ଏବଂ we will get much money ଏବଂ ତାଙ୍କର ସେବା କରିବା ପାଇଁ ୱାର୍କିଂ କ୍ଲାସ ପିପୁଲ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେଠି ରୁହନ୍ତି but on the other hand ଯୋଉମାନେ ଟିକେ those who are not liking to make any trade and business automatically ସେମାନେ କଣ ହୁଅନ୍ତି ନା ସେମାନେ ସେ ଜାଗା ଛାଡିକି ଟିକେ ଦୂରରେ ରୁହନ୍ତି and finally the suburban commuters usually those who had a car. So what happened? ଯୋଉମାନେ middle class people ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କର ସାଧାରଣତଃ ଗୋଟେ କାର ଥାଏ ବା ବାଇକ୍ ଥାଏ ସେମାନେ ଅଟୋମେଟିକଲି କଣ କରନ୍ତି ନା ସେ ପାଖରେ ସେମାନେ ରହିବାକୁ ଚାହାନ୍ତି ନାହିଁ ଟିକେ ଦୂରରେ ରହନ୍ତି All historians agree that space should be the most important analytical tool for study of the society. So they opine that space is the proper analytical tool. So by taking the space, we can properly analyze the nature of the city or the nature of the urban centers or so to their society. The early 20th century sociologist George Simmel concentrated on the ways in which the size of groups qualitatively shaped in nature of their interactions. Urban historians drawing on Maximilian Karl Emil Weber, a German socialist historian, jurist, political economist, regarded most important theories of the development of a modern Western society categories have suggested that the city would be seen as a self-contained social entity in pre-modern times. So what happened? When the historians they made a proper study about the urban centers, they opined that every city is a self-contained social entity. That means in the cities, everything one will get there. Suppose if you go to the ek number market of Bhubaneswar, what happened? Everything we will get there. So these historians they opine that these cities are self-contained social entity. Then Peter Saunders argues that space was not a category around which a social dynamic peculiar to the modern city could be identified. So Peter Saunders he has given another view that instead most theories have revealed that the city is a space where general societal process may be observed more intensely. Space has been a very important category in a ways in which recent approaches to urban history have developed. So they have given about a very clear picture regarding space. So where there is a space, automatically people move towards that area, and people who also want to make proper business there, and the people also not hesitate to give more money for rent purpose. And when there is a space, automatically the working class people are there in order to serve the rich people, and automatically the middle class people, they were not interested to remain in the central places where the rich peoples um, where they are doing business. I think I am clear. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. ଏଇଠି ଯୋଉ ଆସିଲା ଯୋଉ ପସିବିଲିଟି ସ୍ପେସ୍ କଥା ଯୋଉ ଆସିଲା ଏଠି କଣ ହେଇଛି ନା ମେନଲି ନା ଗୋଟେ ସେଣ୍ଟରରେ କଣ ହୁଏ ନା ଗୋଟେ ବିଜନେସ ସେଣ୍ଟରରେ କଣ ହୁଏ ଯୋଉଠି ସ୍ପେସ୍ ଥାଏ ସେଠି ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ରିଚ୍ ପିପୁଲ ମାନେ ଯାଆନ୍ତି ଯାଇ ସେଠି କଣ କରନ୍ତି ସେମାନଙ୍କର ବିଜନେସ ସେମାନେ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରନ୍ତି ଏବଂ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେମାନେ ବିଜନେସ ଆରମ୍ଭ କରନ୍ତି ଅଟୋମେଟିକଲି ହ୍ୱାଟ ହ୍ୟାପେନ୍ ତାଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ କିଛି ୱାର୍କିଂ କ୍ଲାସ ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆମେ ଯୋଉ ସ୍ଲମ୍ ଏରିଆ କଥା କହୁଛେ ସେଠି ସ୍ଲମ୍ ଏରିଆରେ କିଛି କିଛି ଲୋକ ରହନ୍ତି ସେମାନଙ୍କର ତାଙ୍କୁ ସାହାଯ୍ୟ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଏବଂ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ହେଲା କଣ ଦି ମିଡିଲ କ୍ଲାସ ପିପୁଲ ଦେ ଡୁ ନଟ୍ ୱାଣ୍ଟ ଟୁ ରିମେନ୍ in that crowded place for main because now they do not want to pay more high rents to the owner. So this is all about the perceived state. Then regarding material throughout human history cities were marked by distinct ways of organizing materials in space. You see, they have here they have used a different kinds of word that is a material that we are very different from the countryside. So modern cities appear as a dense agglomerations of people and automobiles, but also concrete, steel, glass, and asphalt. Quite unlike the low density of a village and not at all like the small world medieval town. So what happened? Another thing, another term they used here. We have discussed about the very word space, and secondly they have used a different word that is material or materialities. So what happened? They have used different kinds of materials, and we will not get such type of materials were used in the villages. Suppose we will see the people, we will see the city is the collection of different kinds of things or materials or different kinds of people were living there. And they have the automobiles. Automobiles means they have four-wheelers automatically. They have a steel, they have a glass, they have a asphalt. Asphalt means pitchu. The road would go automatically, it is full of asphalt. Quite unlike the low density village. So ଯେମିତି ଭିଲେଜରେ ଯୋଉମାନେ ବସବାସ କରନ୍ତି ଏଇଟା ସେଭଳି ନୁହଁ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଏ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ କାଇଣ୍ଡସ୍ ଅଫ materials very used by different kinds of people here. ତମେ ଗୋଟେ କଥା କହୁଥିଲି ମାଡ୍ରାସର କେମିତି ଗୋଟେ 100 କିଲୋମିଟର୍ସ ସାର୍କିଲ ଭିତରେ ଯେମିତି ଆଉ ପାଣି ଭିତରକୁ ଯାଉନାହିଁ ବର୍ଷା ହେଲେ ପାଣି ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି କଣ ହଉଛି ନା ରୋଡ ଉପରେ ଜମା ହଉଛି ଏଣ୍ଡ କାହିଁ ତାର ମେନ୍ ରିଜନ କଣ ହଉଛି ନା ସେମାନେ ଟିକେ ମଧ୍ୟ ସ୍ପେସ ରଖିନାହାନ୍ତି ମାଟି ଅଂଶ ଟିକେ ମଧ୍ୟ ରଖିନାହାନ୍ତି ପାଣି ଏଣ୍ଟର କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଦି ଏଣ୍ଟାୟାର ଟାଉନ କଣ ହେଇଛି ନା ପିଚୁରେ ସେଟା ଭର୍ତ୍ତି ହେଇଯାଇଛି ଯାହାଫଳରେ ପାଣି ଆଉ ଭିତରକୁ କନସେଣ୍ଟ୍ରେଟ କରି ପାରୁନାହିଁ. So this is the clear picture of the town, whereas we will not get such type of picture in the villages. There are two ways the history of a modern city has been analyzed. Two ways. First, cities have been classified on the basis of their material culture. You see, cities were classified into the material culture, forms of energy in use, and modes of transport, and the use of labor-saving machinery, etc. So here you see, it is a material culture, forms of energy in use, how the materials are using in the towns. Modes of transport, materials are used. The use of labor saving machinery. Labor saving machinery means they are using JCB. ହେଲା ଜେସିବି ଆମେ ଲଗେଇଦେଲେ ଗୋଟେ 100 ଲୋକ ଘଣ୍ଟାକରେ ଯେତିକି କାମ କରିବା କଥା ଗୋଟେ ଜେସିବି ଗୋଟେ ଘଣ୍ଟା ଭିତରେ ସେତିକି କାମ କରିଦେଇ ପାରୁଛି so this is the mode of using different kinds of materials in towns whereas you will not get in the villages thus a distinction has been made between the pre-industrial and the post-industrial city. So they have used two different kinds of word, pre-industrial period and the post-industrial period. Pre-industrial ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଶିଳ୍ପ ବିପ୍ଳବ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଗୋଟେ ଅଲଗା ସିଚୁଏସନ ଥିଲା ଅଲଗା ସିନ୍ ଥିଲା ଏବଂ after industrial revolution the scene was totally changed. It is made the identification of the different technologies that divide the pre-industrial from the industrial city. So what happened? They have used in the industrial period. What happened? They have used different technologies in cities in the third world. Often restated as a division between industrial and the pre-industrial parts of the city. So now they have used the word third world. Who can say about the meaning third world? What is the meaning of third world? Who can say? No one. Yes or no? Tell me. Vishwajit, Rano, Swagatika. You tell me, otherwise I will tell you. Okay. First world is USA and the Allies. If you do not know, kindly note down it. First world is America plus Allied. That means তার other মিত্র শক্তি মানে এবং second is the communist bloc Russia, China and etc. ହେଲା and third world is economically poor countries. That means the developing countries like India and others. So first world is America, second world is communist bloc, that is Russia, China and others, and the third world is those who are developing countries or economically the poor countries. So what happened? So it is made the identification of the different technologies that divide the pre-industrial from the industrial city. So pre-industrial and the industrial city, there was a gap. Suppose শিল্প বিপ্লব পূର୍ବରୁ এবং শিল্প বিপ্লব সমୟରେ বা পরে. So it is a clear distinction. In cities in the third world, you see those who are developing countries. In the cities in the third world, often restated as a division between the between industrial and pre-industrial parts of the city. So what happened? We can mark clearly, distinctively in the third world countries, which is pre-industrial and another is industrial. ଆମେ ଦେଖିବା ଶିଳ୍ପ ବିପ୍ଳବ ପୂର୍ବରୁ ଭାରତର ଅବସ୍ଥା କେମିତି ଥିଲା ଏବଂ ଶିଳ୍ପ ବିପ୍ଳବ ପରେ ଭାରତର ଅବସ୍ଥା କେମିତି ହେଇଯାଇଛି. Automatically it was changing gradually. So industry in the 19th century gave rise to new towns. You see, industry in the 19th century gave rise to new towns and reshaped many existing urban centers. So urban centers gradually changing and always it is a new one. With the factories came concentrations of populations. So what happened? Many factories, they came into existence which led to the growth of populations. Other problems are sanitation, water, transport, and housing. So, no doubt, it is the after industrialization what happened. No doubt, population will mark the growth of a population in those cities. But on the other hand, we will also get a number of problems like sanitation, water transport, and housing problems. And people are not getting housing or house in order to stay there. These responses to these problems were shaped by three elements. First, struggles by people. So what happened? The struggles by people, then strikes, riots, and we will see it very much in the towns. Then discourage means health and sanitation. We will not get proper health care in these towns. And the third is plants. So these are the three basic need in a urban place. So first thing, one is strike. ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ଯିବା ସବୁବେଳେ ଦେଖିବା ଯେ ପିପୁଲ ମାନେ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରାଇକ୍ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ସେମାନେ ନିଶ୍ଚିତ ରୂପେ ବସିଥିବେ। ସେକେଣ୍ଡ ହେଇଛି ଡିସ୍କରେଜ ଟୁ ହେଲ୍ଥ ଆଣ୍ଡ ସାନିଟେସନ। ଏଇଟା ଏତେ ଦୂର ପଲ୍ୟୁଟେଡ ହେଇଯାଉଛି ଟାଉନ ଯାକ। ଯଦିଓ ଏଇଠି ଗୁଡେ ମେଡିକାଲ ଅଛି କିନ୍ତୁ କଣ ହଉଛି ଏତେ ଦୂର ସେମାନେ ପଲ୍ୟୁଟେଡ ହେଇଯାଉଛନ୍ତି ଯେ କଣ ହଉଛି ନା ଦେ ଆର ନଟ୍ ଗିଭିଂ ପ୍ରପର ଇମ୍ପୋର୍ଟାନ୍ସ ଟୁ ହେଲ୍ଥ ଆଣ୍ଡ sanitation. And third is plants. Whenever we want to have construct a house, it requires a plants. So this is all about the urban centers of pre-industrial and industrial. If you have any doubt, you can tell me, or I will go ahead. So next is Frederick Engels. In 1844, he has written a book, The Condition of Working Class in England is often considered one of the founding texts of urban studies. So he has written a book about the condition of the working class in England. He has written, and according to the historian Henry Pinney, this word will come in your examination. Henry Pinney, the expansion of trade and money economy radiating out from the city was the key to the disintegration of feudalism and enabled the emergence of capitalism. So you see the very word, try to understand it. So what happened? According to the historian Henry Pinney, the expansion of trade and money. So what happened? In urbans, there was an expansion of trade and commerce. So what happened? That radiating out from the city was the key to disintegration of feudalism. जो जमींदार प्रथा थिला, जो ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଆଗରୁ ଯୋଉ ଜମିଦାର ପ୍ରଥାକୁ ଯୋଉ ଆମେ ଦେଖୁଥିଲେ, ଏଇଟା କଣ ହେଇଛି ନା ଏ ଜମିଦାର ପ୍ରଥା କଣ କଲା ସିଏ ନା ତାକୁ ଡିସଇଣ୍ଟିଗ୍ରେଟ କରିଦେଲା, ତାକୁ ସ୍ମାସ କରିଦେଲା, and led to the emergence of capitalism. ଜମିଦାର ପ୍ରଥା ଲୋପ ପାଇଗଲା ଏବଂ ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ କଣ ହେଇଛି ଯୋଉ କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲିଷ୍ଟ ଗ୍ରୁପ, those who have power, those who have money and wealth, automatically ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ ଲୋକ ବା ଦଳ ଉଠିଲେ ଯୋଉମାନଙ୍କ ପାଖରେ ବ୍ୟବସାୟ ବାଣିଜ୍ୟ ଭଲ ହେଲା, they became the capitalist people. David Harvey outlined a deeper relationship between the city and the contemporary capitalism. He says that primary circuit capital, that means over accumulation of capital through production of goods, and the secondary circuit of capital, roads, railways, etc., where the return comes through a different ways. So, कौन हला ना से दीप अगर कथा लिखले how they are collecting money, or how the capitalism people they led to the emergence. What happened? Now, first thing, the accumulation of capital through production of goods. ଆମେ ବହୁତ ଗୁଡେ ଜିନିଷ ପ୍ରଡକ୍ସନ କଲେ ଏବଂ ଯାହା ଫଳରେ କଣ ହେଉଛି ନା କ୍ୟାପିଟାଲ ଟା ଧୀରେ ଧୀରେ ଜଣଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ପୁଞ୍ଜିପତି ମାନଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ପଳେଇ ଆସିଲା। And secondary circuit of capital ହଉଛି କଣ ନା roads, railways, etc. where the return comes through different ways. ଆମେ roads କଲେ ପ୍ରତି ବର୍ଷ ଆମେ road tax ବି ଦଉଛେ, railways kale we are giving the taxes, we throw tickets. So in this way they were collecting, they are collecting money from the people. There are other interesting approaches to the materiality of the city. Then late Jerome has studied the layouts of the kitchens in Weimar, Germany, that the wall dividing the kitchen from the living room generally very different kinds of experiences of women domestic labor. You see how he has given a clear picture. कौन सेटा ना आमे कौन करूचे ना जेतले आमे किचन करूचे गोटे घर गोटे करूचे नेचुरली वी हैव ए किचन रूम सेटा कौन होची ना गोटे जेतेबेले गोटे लेडी जाय कि किचन रे काम करूची that it clearly says that it is a domestic labor. प्रत्येक घरे गोटे किचन रूम अछि ना नहीं? हेलो माय डियर फ्रेंड्स, किचन रूम अछि आ गोटे हमर अन्य रूम अछि हैला। हेले कोन होछि जेतेबेले हम किचन रूम को हम देखू ऑटोमेटिकली कोन होछि ना द लेडी विल गो देयर इन टू प्रिपेयर फूड हैला। ऑटोमेटिकली कोन होछि there was a distinction between the living room and in the kitchen room. एवं आ गोटे कथा मु क्लियर करी कहूची तेनु करी मु जो घरटा करछि किचन रूम मु सेपरेट रखी नाही फॉर योर इंफॉर्मेशन। ओके देन ओबी बिजाकर एंड केरिन they studied the Dutch women in the post-war period who were called in on public housing scheme by walling through the plans. से तो से कौन करछंदी ना जेतेबेले प्लान करा हुए घर रो प्लान करा हुए व्हाट हैपन नेचुरली किचन रूम पे गुडे अलगा प्लान करा जाय एंड सेस अबाउट ऑन द यूजेस एंड डिजाइन ऑफ डोमेस्टिक स्पेस. So it is all about the domestic space. Now I think you have clearly understood about the meaning of space. If you have any doubt, my dear friends?
No, sir. No,
So-
sir. But sir,
ଟିକେ କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଲାନି ଆଉ ଥରେ ଭଲରେ କୁହ ବିଶ୍ୱଜିତ କଣ କହୁଛ ମୁଁ ବୁଝି ପାରିଲିନି ଦି ଜଣ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ଦିଟା ପଚାରିଲେ କୁହ ମତେ ଶୁଣ କ୍ରିଷ୍ଟିନା ମୁଁ ଆହୁରି ବୁଝି ପାରିଲିନି ତଥାପି ମୁଁ କହିଦଉଛି ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଘରର ପ୍ଲାନ କରୁ କିଚେନ ପାଇଁ ଆମେ ଗୋଟେ ସ୍ପେସ ଦଉନା ନାହିଁ ଦଉଛେ ହେଲା କିନ୍ତୁ ମୁଁ ମୋ ଘରଟାକୁ ମୁଁ ଏମିତି ପ୍ଲାନ କରିଛି କିଚେନ ପାଇଁ ଦେयर ଇଜ नो ସେପାରେଟ ରୁମ୍ ଏଟ ଅଲ୍ ଏବଂ ମୁଁ ଗୋଟେ ଏମିତି ଗୋଟେ ରୁମ୍ ରେ ତିଆରି କରିଛି ଆମେ ସେଠି ସମସ୍ତେ ବସୁଛୁ and through friendly way and through merry making we are enjoying that kitchen room also. साधारणतः लिविंग रूम टा अलगा किचन रूम टा अलगा किंतु किचन रूम टा एमिति हेछि it is interconnected with other rooms हैला interconnected एवं सेठी गला पर ऑटोमेटिकली हम सेठी बसुछु बसिला पर मध्य one can do cooking हैला हेले एडी से कहउछन कोन एडी से किचन कथरा से काहे कहली ना गोटे लेडी पई गोटे किचन रूम हेगला परे automatically it creates the monotonous thinking in the mind of the woman. गोटे विरक्तिकर गोटे सी गोटे हो जाए सी बुली बुली आसो ताप गोटे अलग रूम थी से भीतर सी एकुटिया थी एंड नो वन will go there and no one will serve the hair. So automatically it creates a monotonous affairs. ତେଣୁ ସିଏ କହିଲେ କଣ ଯେ ଏଇଟା ଯୋଉ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଏ ଡିଫରେଣ୍ଟ କାଇଣ୍ଡସ୍ ଅଫ୍ ସ୍ପେସ୍, ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଦେୟାର ଓପିନିଅନ ହେଲା। ଏ ଯୋଉ ନୋସନଟା ସିଏ ଆଣିଲେ ଯେ କଣ ନା କିଚେନ ଇଜ ଆଲସୋ ଏ ସ୍ପେସ୍ ହେଲା, ଏଇଟା ଉପରେ ସିଏ ଡିସକସନ ବା ଏନାଲାଇଜ କରିଛନ୍ତି। ଆଉ ଥରେ କି କଣ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ ପଚାରିଲେ? ଆଇ ଥିଙ୍କ ୟୁ ଆର ସାଟିସ୍ଫାଇଡ ବିଶ୍ୱଜିତ? ୟେସ୍ ସାର୍। ଆଉ ଥରେ କି ଗୋଟେ କ୍ୱେଶ୍ଚିନ୍ କଣ ପଚାରିଲେ?
ସେଇଟା କୋଉଠି ଲେଖା ହେଇଛି ପାଉନି।
ତମେ ପାଉନ ବୋଲେ ତମେ ଏଇଟା କୋଉଠିକି ଯିବ ଦେଖିବ, ଏଇଟା ମେଟେରିଆଲିଷ୍ଟରେ ଦେଖ, ତମେ ମେଟେରିଆଲିଷ୍ଟରେ ତମେ ଏଇଟା ଦେଖିବ ମେଟେରିଆଲ୍ସ। ଓକେ, ଆଚ୍ଛା ତାର ନେକ୍ସଟ ଚାପ୍ଟରଟା ହଉଛି ନଲେଜେସ୍ ସାଇନ୍ସ ପ୍ଲାନିଂ ଏଣ୍ଡ ଏକ୍ସପର୍ଟାଇଜ। ତାର ପୂର୍ବଟା ତମେ ଦେଖ। ଓକେ, ନଲେଜେସ୍
Yes, sir.
science planning and expertise, ତା ପୂର୍ବଟା ହଉଛି regarding kitchens. Okay, so now I am coming to the next point. You see, we have discussed about industrial city and urban problems. You see, now we have already discussed about the industrial city, what is the problem there, and we have also discussed about the urban problems, how health problem is there, so how different kinds of plants. So we have already discussed about it. So modern urban plants were associated with the new forms of knowledge lead on no objective truth. So what happened? The the new forms of knowledge, modern urban plants were associated with the new forms of knowledge lead on no objective truth. So what happened? We are nowadays taking different kinds of plants. We are taking different kinds of
ସେ ସାଉଣ୍ଡ କଟିଗଲା। ସାରଙ୍କ ସାଉଣ୍ଡ ଟା କୁଆଡେ ଗଲା? ପୁରା କଟିଗଲା।
ବୋଧହୁଏ ସାର୍ ପଳେଇଲେ କି?
ନା ସାରଙ୍କର କଟିଗଲା ବୋଧେ।
ଓହୋ।
ସାର୍ ମ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ହେଇଛି। ସାର୍ ମ୍ୟୁଟ୍। ଏ ଇନଟେକ୍ସ ରେ ଲେଖିକି କୁହ ସାରଙ୍କୁ। ମ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ଲେଖିଛନ୍ତି ତ।
ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ମ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ହେଲା, ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ମ୍ୟୁଟ୍ ହେଲା। ମୁଁ ଜାଣିପାରିଲିନି କଣ ହେଲା, ଏଇଟା ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ପଳେଇଗଲା ତ। ଆସିଲା ତ, କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଲା ତ? ଆଚ୍ଛା ଶୁଣ, ହେଲା ଶୁଣ, ହ୍ୟାଲୋ। ହେଲେ କଣ ହଉଛି, କଣ ହଉଛି, ଆମେ ଦେଖିଥିଲେ ହରପ୍ପା ସଭ୍ୟତା କଥା, ଯେ ଗୋଟେ ବାଉଣ୍ଡରୀ ଭିତରେ ଗୋଟେ ଘରଟେ ଥିବ ଏବଂ ତାଙ୍କର କ୍ରସ୍ ଭେଣ୍ଟିଲେସନ ଥିବ। କ୍ରସ୍ ଭେଣ୍ଟିଲେସନ ର ଅର୍ଥ ହେଲା ଅପୋଜିଟ ସାଇଡରେ ଝରକା, ଠିକ ଅପୋଜିଟ ସାଇଡରେ ଝରକା ଥିବ। ତାହେଲେ କଣ ହବ, ଆମକୁ ଆମକୁ କଣ ହବ ନା ଫ୍ରି ଏୟାର ଆମକୁ ଦେଇପାରିବ। It was the plan of the modern city. ଏବଂ ତମେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦେଖିବ ମୁଁ ଯେତେବେଳେ ଦେଖିଲି ଯେ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱର ହଉଛି ଗୋଟେ ମଡର୍ନ ସିଟିର ପ୍ଲାନ୍ and it is just equal to the plan of Bangalore ହେଲେ ଏଇଠି ଯୋଉ କଥା କୁହାଯାଇଛି ଯେତେବେଳେ ମୁଁ ଘରଟାର ପ୍ଲାନିଂ ଆଣିଲି କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଏବଂ ସେଇଠି କଣ କଲି ମୁଁ ଫାଷ୍ଟ ତାକୁ କହିଲି ଯେ ଚାରିପଟେ ତମେ ବାଉଣ୍ଡରୀ ୱାଲ୍ ଫାଷ୍ଟ ତିଆରି କର ଏବଂ ଯୋଉ ଘରଟା ହବ ସେଠି କଣ ହବ କ୍ରସ୍ ଭେଣ୍ଟିଲେସନ ରହିବାକୁ
ଆଜି ଅନେକ ଜାଗାରେ ବର୍ଷା ହବ ବୋଲି ଲେଖିଛି ତ ବୋଧେ ପାଣିପାଗ ଖରାପ ଥିବ। ବିଶ୍ୱଜିତ ଭାଇ ସେ ଯୋଉ ଦୀପକ ସାର୍ ଆଉ ଫିରୋଜ ଭାଇ ତ କାଇଁ ଜଏନ୍ ହଉନାହାନ୍ତି? ନା ଅଛି ଯୋଉ ଦୀପକ ସାରଙ୍କର ଅଛି ପେପର 10 ଟା ଅଛି।
ଫିରୋଜ ସାର୍ ବି ତ ଜଏନ୍ ହେଇଥିଲେ ସେଦିନ।
ହଁ ଫିରୋଜ ଭାଇ ତ ଜଏନ୍ ହେଇଥିଲେ କିନ୍ତୁ ଆଜି କେହି ହଉନାହାନ୍ତି କଣ ପାଇଁ କେଜାଣି?
ଜାଣିନଥିବେ ବୋଧହୁଏ।
ଗୋଟେ ଝରକା ଥିବ ଦାଣ୍ଡରେ ଗୋଟେ ଦ୍ୱାରବନ୍ଧ ଥିବ ଏବଂ ମଝିରେ ଗୋଟେ ଦ୍ୱାରବନ୍ଧ ଥିବ ଆଉ ଝରକା କିଛି ନଥିବ ହେଲେ ଆଗ କାଳରେ ଯୋଉ ପାଳ ଥିଲା ଆମେ ଘରେ ରହିବାକୁ ଗୋଟେ 10-15 ମିନିଟ୍ ବା ଅଧଘଣ୍ଟା ରହିଗଲେ ଆମେ ସଫୋକେସନ ଫିଲ୍ କରିବା କିନ୍ତୁ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଯୋଉ ମଡର୍ନ ପ୍ଲାନ୍ ହେଇଗଲା ଏଠି କଣ ହେଇଛି ନା ସେ ଟାଇପର ପ୍ରୋବ୍ଲେମ୍ସ ନାହିଁ ଆଗ କଣ କହୁଥିଲେ ନା ଲମ୍ବା ଉପରେ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱ ଦିଆଯାଉଥିଲା ଏବେ କଣ ହଉଛି ନା ୱାଇଡ୍ ଉପରେ ଗୁରୁତ୍ୱ ଦିଆଯାଉଛି ଆମର ଜାଗାଟା କେତେ 45 ଫୁଟ ନା 50 ଫୁଟ ନା 60 ଫୁଟ ଏବଂ ଓସାରଟା ଯେତେ ହେଇପାରେ 40 ଫୁଟରୁ 40 ଫୁଟ ହେଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଆମର ଘର ଭଲ ହେଇପାରେ ବା ଆମେ ଯଦି 60ରୁ 60 ଆଣିବା ଆମର ମଧ୍ୟ ଘର ଭଲ ହେଇପାରେ ସୋ this is all about the modern plans so um, modern plants are all surrounding structure of urban space, large public thoroughfares, then to individual houses. Then ସେଠୁ କଣ ହଉଛି ନା ଆମର ଯୋଉ ଇଣ୍ଡିଭିଜୁଆଲ ହାଉସେସ୍ ଥାଉଛି ସେଟା କଣ ହଉଛି ନା ଆମର ଯୋଉ ମେନ୍ ଡ୍ରେନ୍ ଚାଲିଥାଉଛି ଟାଉନରେ ଯୋଉ ଡ୍ରେନ୍ ଥାଉଛି ତାକୁ ଏଇଟା କଣ ଥାଉଛି ନା ଗୋଟେ କନେକ୍ସନ ଥାଉଛି ଇଭେନ୍ ତମେ ଚିନ୍ତା କର ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ହରପ୍ପାନ ସିଟି ପଢିବାକୁ ପଢୁ ସେଟା କଣ ହେଇଛି ଡ୍ରେନ୍ସ ୱେର୍ ପ୍ରପର କଭର ସେ ଡ୍ରେନ୍ ଯାକ ପ୍ରପର କଭର ହେଇଥିଲା ଯୋଉଟା କି ଆମେ ବର୍ତ୍ତମାନ ଭୁବନେଶ୍ୱରରେ ଦେଖିବାକୁ ପାଉନା ଜାଗା ଏମିତି ଜାଗା ଅଛି ସେ ଡ୍ରେନ୍ ଯାକ କଭର ହେଇନି ଯୋଉଟା କି ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଛୁଆ ମାନେ ଭାସି ପଳାନ୍ତି ଜଷ୍ଟ ଅଳ୍ପ ଦିନ ତଳେ ଯୋଉ କଥା ତମେ ଟିଭିରେ ଦେଖିଥିବ ହାଉ ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଡେଞ୍ଜରିୟସ୍ କିନ୍ତୁ କଣ ହେଇଛି ନା ହରପ୍ପା ସଭ୍ୟତାରେ ଯେତେବେଳେ ସେମାନେ ଡ୍ରେନ୍ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ପୁରାପୁରି ଇଟ୍ ୱାଜ ୱେଲ୍ କଭର ଓକେ ୱେଲ୍ କଭର ହବା ଦରକାର ୱେଲ୍ କଭର ଯଦି ନ ହେଲା ତାହେଲେ କଣ ହବ ଅଟୋମେଟିକାଲି ଡାର୍ଟି ସ୍ମେଲ୍ ୱିଲ୍ କମ୍ ଆଉଟ୍ ସୋ ହ୍ୱିଚ୍ ଇଜ ହାଜାରିୟସ୍ ଫର ହେଲ୍ଥ
ମେସେଜ ବକ୍ସରେ ଲେଖିଦଉନା ସାର୍ ପଢିଦେବେ।
ସାର୍ ଆଉଥରେ ପୁଣି ଲେଫ୍ଟ ହେଇଗଲେ ବୋଧେ।
ହଁ ସେଇଆ ହେଇଥିବ କେତେ ପିଲା ବି କଟିଗଲେଣି।
ଆମର କ୍ଲିୟର ହେଲା ସୁବିଲା
Yes, sir.
ଓକେ ତାହେଲେ କଣ ହେଇଛି ନେପୋଲିୟନ ଛାଡ଼ କଣ କଲେ ନା 1853 ମସିହାରେ ସେ କଣ କଲେ ତାଙ୍କର ଯୋଉ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଗୁଡିକ ଥିଲା ସେ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଯାକୁ କଣ କଲେ ଟୋଟାଲି ଡିମୋଲିଶ କରିଦେଲେ ଆଉ ଆଉ କଣ କଲେ ନା ପାଣି ଯାକ ଯେମିତି ଅଣ୍ଡରଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ରେ ପାଣି ଯିବ ଏବଂ ଡ୍ରେନେଜ ସିଷ୍ଟମ ଟା ଅଣ୍ଡରଗ୍ରାଉଣ୍ଡ ଯେମିତି ହବ ତାର ସେ ସୁବନ୍ଦୋବସ୍ତ କରିଥିଲେ ଦ ଡିମୋଲିସନ ଅଫ parts of Paris under Haussmann was that narrow streets were conducive to urban insurrections. So you see, try to remember the word Haussmann, who is the planner, who was the great planner, who was the great designer of a modern city. Okay, so what happened was that narrow streets were conducive to urban insurrections. That means ବିଦ୍ରୋହ ଯେତେବେଳେ ନେରୋ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଯାକ ରହିଯାଉଛି ସେଟା ଅଟୋମେଟିକଲି କଣ ହଉଛି ନା it led to the rise of different kinds of uprising as it happened in Paris in 1830 and in 1848. Insurgents could easily build lurkers in the narrow streets and fight through the winding alleys. So what happened? ଯେତେବେଳେ ନେରୋ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଯାକ ରହେ ସେତେବେଳେ କଣ ହୁଏ ନା ଯୋଉମାନେ ଇନସର୍ଜେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ସେମାନେ ଇଜିଲି ଦେ କ୍ୟାନ୍ ବ୍ଲକ୍ ଦ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଗୋଟେ ଛୋଟ ଗଳିଟେ ଅଛି ତାକୁ ବନ୍ଦ କରିବା ପାଇଁ ଏଇଟା ଇଟ୍ ଇଜ ଭେରି ଇଜି ସେମାନେ ସେଥିପାଇଁ କଣ କଲେ ନା ଯେତେ ସବୁ ଛୋଟ ଛୋଟ ଗଳି ଯୋଉ ଥିଲା ସେ ଗଳି ଜାଗାର ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଯାକୁ ସେମାନେ ଟୋଟାଲି ଡିମୋଲିଶ କରିଥିଲେ armies also coming to put down rebellion could not move through this space easily ଯୋଉଟେ ଗଳି କନ୍ଦି ଥିବ ଆର୍ମି ମାନେ କଣ ହେବେ ଇଜିଲି ସେମାନେ ଯାଇପାରୁନଥିଲେ ଏ ଯୋଉ ଇନସର୍ଜେଣ୍ଟସ୍ ବିଦ୍ରୋହୀ ମାନେ କଣ କରିବେ ଏପଟେ ବାହାରିକି ସେପଟେ ପଳେଇ ଯିବେ so this was the picture the new Paris wide streets solved the problem of the mobility of the troops as well as the problem of the that means unable to see the condition of the poor ହେଲେ କଣ ହେଇଛି ନା ଯେତେବେଳେ ଏ ଷ୍ଟ୍ରିଟ୍ ଗୁଡିକ ଭେରି ନେରୋ ଥିଲା ପ୍ରଥମ କଥା ହେଲା ନା ସୈନ୍ୟମାନେ ପ୍ରପରଲି ଯାଇପାରୁନଥିଲେ ଏବଂ ସେକେଣ୍ଡ କଥା ହେଲା କଣ ଯୋଉ ଟ୍ରୁପ୍ସ ମାନେ ଥିଲେ ସୈନ୍ୟ ଦଳ ମାନେ ଥିଲେ ମଧ୍ୟ ସେମାନେ ଯାଇପାରୁନଥିଲେ ଏବଂ ଆଉ ଗୋଟେ କଥା ହେଲା କଣ ସେ ଭିତରେ କିଏ ଗରିବ ରହିଲା କିଏ ଖାଇବାକୁ ପାଉଛି କିଏ ନ ପାଉଛି ଇଟ୍ ୱାଜ ଭେରି ଡିଫିକଲ୍ଟ ଟୁ ସି ଆଲସୋ they ensured spontaneous flow of people and goods within Paris ଏବଂ ଗୁଡ୍ସ ମାନେ ମଧ୍ୟ କଣ ହେଲା ନା ଠିକ ଭଲ ରୂପେ ଯାଇପାରୁନଥିଲା ତେଣୁ ସେମାନେ କଣ କଲେ they demolished the streets of Paris. The study of Paris built Lay Haussmann helps us understand the key themes of modern planning and relations between power, technical knowledge, and capitalist interest. So what happened? Automatically, these modern plans of Haussmann, it gives an idea about the modern planning and the relation between the power and the technical knowledge and the capitalist interest. So this is all about the knowledge of science, planning, and expertise. So what happened? Another thing is that if you have any doubt, my dear friends,
No, sir. ବୁଝି ହଉଛି
ବୁଝି ହଉଛି ତ ନା ଆଉ କିଛି ମୁଁ ଟିକେ ତରତର ହେଇଯାଉଛି କାହିଁକି ସ୍ପିଡ ହେଇଯାଉଛି କାହିଁକି ପାଠଟା ତମକୁ କିଛି ଅଧିକ ପଢେଇବା କଥା ଆଉ ପଢେଇ ହବନି କାହିଁକି ୱାନ୍ ପିରିୟଡ ଇଜ ମୋର୍ ଓକେ ସୋ ଏନିୱେ public health envisaged out of the overcrowding and disease in the mid of 19th century. So public health, then what happened? Then public health also, it was the great cry of the modern city. The earliest statistics collected revealed the impact of overcrowding in the cities like London and Northern England on the life expectancy of its residents. যেତେବେଳେ overcrowd হয়ে automatically it had a negative impact upon the residents. The miasmatic theories of a disease that spread through portrayed vapors advocated aggressive cleansing of a city যেତେବେଳେ যেତେବେଳେ মাইজামেটিক রোগ যেତେବେଳେ পড়ে আসে সেটা কোন পে আসে না ডিফরেন্ট কাইন্ডস অফ পট্রিড মিনছি পচা ভ্যাপর্স মিনছি বাষ্প যেତେବେଳେ ଶହ ଶହ ଲୋକ ଲକ୍ଷ ଲକ୍ଷ ଲୋକ ବାସ କରୁଛନ୍ତି ୟୁ ଥିଙ୍କ ହ୍ୱାଟ ଆବାଉଟ ଦ ସିଟି ଅଫ କାଲକାଟା ଯଦି କେବେ ଯାଇଥିବ ୟୁ ୱିଲ୍ ସି it's a horrible condition. The idea of open sunlight, that means sunlight, space, and the circulation of air is essential to good public health. So it is essential for sunlight and it is essential for air circulation. Um, the French philosophers Michael Foucault has given two modes of modern power, that is discipline and governmentality. Discipline involved the operation of power upon the Leori, means new ways of behavior and conduct, and governmentality operated through a range of mechanism operating upon the populations. So here he wants to say that behavior and conduct. So what happened? Government mentality operated through a long range of mechanism. So when government wants, then only he can bring a clear concept, or so to say, he can able to bring the health and the health condition of the residents. Then it's the sewers, roads, public buildings was organized in a manner that generated an image of a self-regulating city. So what happened about the Bhubaneswar? So governments see, he has taken several public motivated works were there regarding the roads, regarding the public buildings, then about the sewers means the drainage system. So government is solely responsible for this, for the health and sanitary conditions of the people. Such cities were unimpeded. Roads were wide, drains operated to carry waste away, piped water reached directly into the citizens' homes. So government ଚାହିଁଲେ କ'ଣ ହବ, ରୋଡ ସାରା ଭଲ ହେଇପାରିବ, ସରକାର ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କ ପାଖକୁ ପାଣି ଭଲ ପାଣି ଯାଇପାରିବ। ଏବେ ତ ଗୋଟେ ଜିନିଷ ମୁଁ କହୁଛି, ଯେତେବେଳେ ଆମେ ଟ୍ରେନରେ ଯାଉ, ଟ୍ରେନରେ ଲୋକମାନେ ପାଣି ଇଏ କିଣିବେ, କ'ଣ ଯେ ବୋତଲ ସିନା କିଣିବେ, ଡ୍ରେନେଜ ମାନେ ଆମର ପ୍ଲାଟଫର୍ମରୁ ସେମାନେ ପାଣି ଆଣି ପିଇବାକୁ କେବେ ମଧ୍ୟ ଚାହିଁବେ ନାହିଁ। କାହିଁକି? ଲୋକମାନଙ୍କର ଗୋଟେ କନସେପ୍ଟ ଅଛି, ଏଇଟା ବି ସତ କଥା, ଯେ ସେମାନେ ଦଉଛନ୍ତି ଡାର୍ଟି ୱାଟର ଫର ୟୁଜ ଅଫ ଦ ଲାଟ୍ରିନ୍ସ, ଏବଂ ସେ ପାଣି ମଧ୍ୟ କେତେ ଲୋକ ପୁଅର ପିପୁଲ ଅଛନ୍ତି, ସେମାନେ ଦେ ୱେର୍ ଆଲସୋ ୟୁଜିଂ ଫର ଇଟ୍। So this is all about the knowledge of science, planning, and expertise. So my dear friends, kindly read about this chapter, and tomorrow we will discuss about, thoroughly we will also discuss about it. So if you have any doubt, you can ask me. Any doubt? Okay, so I have